Morning, everyone, and thanks for your patience. I'll try to make some radio work faster, but yeah, there's no way to control that. So today we're going to talk about, this is a title of a book that is not a spiritist book. It is written by two German psychologists, and they understood that the path for healing our illnesses are within the illness itself. So one thing that I really love to ask when I do the openings at my center is when I do the little housekeeping, I ask to turn this off. But then I say, this will cause you FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. But we're here for JOMO, the joy of missing out. We're not missing anything. We're just looking inside of us. Because all the answers are within us. They're not outside. That's why reading and coming to lectures is awesome, but reading and make up your mind by yourself, by your reading, it's so important for Spiritism. It's your understanding. Perception is the key. The name of the game is perception. So when we talk about illnesses, when we talk about getting sick, we spend our whole life running from sickness, right? Viewing as our ultimate physical enemy. But again, let me ask you something. Who here likes problems? Raise your hand. No one. Okay, so let's switch for our daily lives. What if I tell you if you don't like problems, you don't like money? Because our job is to solve our customers' problem. If you don't have problems, you don't have a job. Does it change the perspective about the word problem? Probably, right? So, switch a little bit your perspective about illnesses and start looking at the expansive lenses of the immortal soul. We discovered something really different. Sickness is not here to destroy us. It's here to bring us back into alignment. It's like, oops, you're getting out of the path. Come back. That is a saying, or that is a chapter on a book from Brother X that he went to with a whole spirit, a lot of spirits. They went to a hospital and they got to a room, everybody was suffering, asking God for mercy and stuff. And he got really touched and asked the mentor, can we give passes to these guys? And as a learning curve, the mentor said, yeah, go ahead and do it. The next day, they went back to the same room and everyone was better and no one was talking about God. No one was talking to God anymore. They are thinking about their daily lives. So like Emmanuel say, I understand that we are busy. I understand that our lives are so busy. You have a lot of things to do. What I don't understand is why don't you use an hour, 30 minutes of your daily life to think about your immortal soul? It doesn't take too much. 30 minutes. What am I doing? What is my purpose here? One thing that I ask for the workers at my spirit center is like, before you step into the center, think about what is the purpose of coming in here. Just pretend that you're doing the work or doing the work. And what is doing the work for you? What you gain by being here today? That is a beautiful sun out there, right? You guys are closer to the beach. So what are you going to gain? What is your purpose in coming to your spirit center? What is the purpose and understanding? My purpose today is to tell you that no, although we caused a lot of our sickness, is not to put a finger in your nose and say that's your fault. It's just like, let's review the history of your sickness and understand that the key, the clue to the healing process is right there. So shall we start? Okay. Hey, not all at the same time. I cannot hear you. Okay, let's do it. So I used a little bit of codification to do this one. And let's start like this. Disease is always a mechanism of the spirit for its own education and spiritual progress. This is Joanna De Angelis. A mechanism of the spirit for re-education. So it's not a cause, it's a consequence. If you treat the consequence, you're not going to get healed. The parable of the 10 lepers. The lepers left the place that they were confined to find Jesus. When they found Jesus, they asked him to heal, and they got healed. From the 10, just one went back to talk to him. And Jesus said, unfortunately, you are the only one who's being cured. The other ones are still going to get the disease back. Why? Because it's healed from within. It's not here outside. So you can take ibuprofen, you can take whatever you want for your pain. The pain's still there. If you don't treat the cause, the root. Think of your physical bodies as a highly sensitive projection screen. It doesn't generate the movie. It simply displays what's running on the projector of your soul. Illness reflects the soul's the unresolved conflicts. It is not a random punishment or a biological accident. It is what you project. It is what you foster. It is what you breed inside of you, like brewing something. And all of a sudden, you're going to get up. You're going to get that happen to you. Us, the patients, are not merely an innocent victim. We are often the physical manifestation, because illness is often the manifestation of our unresolved problems, internal problems, unhealthy lifestyle choices. Well, I used to use Divaldo Franco joke about his illnesses because he called them their mistress. I do have a mistress because I didn't take care too much of sugar and eating whatever I want. So I got a mistress that is expensive, and even though doesn't want to get out, doesn't want to leave me, which calls diabetes. So right now, whatever I like, which is eating a lot of sugar, not anymore. Did I learn? Yeah. Was the easiest way? No. Was it my fault? Yes. Simple as that. That was my fault. Nobody put a gun on my face and say, eat sugar. But I did. So, actions, consequences, right? That's what brought me to Spiritism, because I also, like when I was 18, I went to all the places and there was like, do this or that, do this or that. And then I come to Spiritism and say, actions and consequences. Well, okay, I can live with that. If I do it right, I'm going to get it right. If I do it wrong, I'm going to get it wrong. Bingo. Not too much difference on what we see outside, but that's how it works. It is a direct physical manifestation of deeper spiritual, psychological, or emotional imbalances. And our physical body acts as a faithful mirror, projecting the state of our consciousness and giving form to our unaddressed inner struggle. Kardec, he crafted this rule, or this round thing that he calls the triad of the spirit. So, the spirit is the conscious, the source, the immortal intelligence, the principle that generates the thoughts. The perispirit is the filter, the bridge. And the body is the manifestation of everything that comes from the spirit. Let's understand in a different way, because I work with neuroscience a lot, so let me give you an example to be easier to understand. The driver. Gasoline, oil, driving reckless, doing whatever you want. Ferrari. The car. If the driver don't put a regular or a good gas on the tank, maintain the car right, the Ferrari becomes a Beetle. Right? Are you driving a Ferrari or are you driving a Beetle? For a long time, I drove a Beetle. Nothing against it, but we have a Ferrari. Why don't you treat it as if? You have to treat it the way that is the best. And this is also, there is a guy called Simon Sinek. I don't know if you guys know this guy. He is the top guy for going to places and work with people, like consultant. And he creates the golden circle. The golden circle has always 3 layers. Here is why. Here is how. And here is what. Why? Purpose. What is your purpose? What is the purpose of us being here, incarnated in this planet? Can somebody tell me? What is the purpose for us? You don't count. Sorry, you're grounded. Why are we here? Any clue? To evolve, right? To get better. So I have a good news and a bad news for you. Which one you prefer first? You prefer to hear a bad news first or good news first, sir? Bad? We always prefer bad. That's how we wired. We always look for problems. Me, you, Marcelo, Susanna, we're no good. We are no good. We aren't in this planet, so we're not first grade spirits. The good news, we're trying to perfect whatever is wrong. So we get chance after chance after chance to get better. So why not understand what it did wrong that caused what we're feeling right now and perfect it and stop doing it and let your body heal itself, because you're not putting more oxygen or whatever to the root of your problem. Sounds crazy, right? But it's possible. Just as the physical body can ingest poisonous food that intoxicates its tissue, so the spiritual organisms absorb elements that degrade it, which reflects on material cells. So, again, let's talk about the spirit, the driver, the body, the biological car, and the perispirit is the filter. If you overload the filter, you start transporting. You will transport to the body. So when we talk about stress, nobody's stressed here, right? Just me. When we talk about stress, we talk about 2 elements, 2 biological, 2 chemical elements, cortisol and adrenaline, that are produced for you to run or fight. As wherever you go, you are, so you cannot run from yourself. And if you start slapping yourself, you're probably gonna get institutionalized like a crazy person. You don't do any of those, then you froze. You froze by those chemicals still being produced inside yourself, up to a point that it becomes an overdose. An overdose will choose one organ that is kind of weak, and boom, voila, you have a problem. Houston, we have a problem. And we create a problem, right? That was us. There was nobody else. But before we create a problem, there was a lot of clues that we are not looking at. And that's the beauty of it, you know? Because normally we go for this. Earthly trials are tools for education. So, but we have the illusion that I'm being punished. Why me? Why not her? Why not him? Why not my mother-in-law? If it's happening to you, it's because it's yours. Simple as that. You created, not anybody else. So, fatality and destiny, it's an educational karma. Simple. Random physical punishment can be a consequence of past or present choices. There is a guy called Deepak Chopra that used to say, you want to know why you just like that right now? Look what you did in the past. You want to know how you're going to be in the future? Look what you're doing now. And then he just add, open your heart, or a heart surgeon will do that for you. Bingo. So what you want, what is the option that you want? That is never too late to start. But you have to start. Attitude, simple word. When we often look at trials and cry out, why God is punishing me? Spiritism completely shifts this view. There is no punitive, angry God. There is the law of the universe, the law of education, which is not vengeance. The struggles we encounter are not random cosmic accidents. They are careful, select educational pathways. Again, they are careful, select educational pathways. Before we reincarnate, we often actually chosen these specific physical challenges. I don't know what I did, but I did. And I don't want to know what I did. What I know is that I did something with my hands. So right now, I give passes. That's the best way to try to compensate whatever I don't know that I did, but it's in my face. I did. Done. That's okay. Not going to cry out loud because of that. And as a matter of fact, I'm a speaker because of this. Because every time people come to me and say, oh, because of your hand and stuff, you cannot do this, you cannot do that. I say, wait a minute. Wait for me. So I decide to revert and create and use that as a challenge, as fuel. Would you ever stand up and do something if you don't feel a little bit of pain? If everything is comfortable, would you stand up and do something different? No, right? I'm not the only one here. Come on. Can you agree with me? Just that? Okay, awesome. So pain is not the villain. Pain is the fuel. Without pain, we don't move. Unfortunately, we don't understand love that much to evolve by love or to be motivated by love. So we have to be motivated by pain. Again, accept. It hurts less. I accept that a long time ago, so I keep on going. We reach better evolutionary stages through our own choices. Illnesses is an gestation burden, but it's one we have often choose or create to facilitate our own learning. It's burden. Nobody likes to get sick, but we often choose that to learn, to understand, to get a timeout. And when you have a timeout, have more time to understand things in life. My brother just got a stent, and he's 11 years younger than me. But he's a Unabomber, but he implodes. He doesn't tell anybody that's going to happen. All of a sudden, boom, he's in the hospital. And he's going to get a stent because his veins are all obstructed. Why? Because he has to deduct the frustration and the anger in something. For him was food. And all of a sudden, he's understanding a little bit more about that he needs to open up. Otherwise, he's going to get to the hospital again. And next time, probably it's not going to be that easy. The law of God imposed their incarnation with the aim of bringing them to perfection. We are incarnating to get closer to perfection. Peter, I'm so imperfect. Me too. Join the line, okay? You're not the first one. The only God can see us as pure spirits. Every time I talk to my wife, I cannot say he's crazy because he's almighty and stuff, but only him can have all this vision to see me as a pure spirit. I cannot see that. But that is a passage on Minute of Wisdom from Carlos Pastorino that say, God loves you. God believes in you. If you don't believe in yourself, therefore you don't believe in God. So every time I start thinking about my imperfections, I start saying, how dare you not trust what God trusts? So I have to trust myself because I'm here. because God put me here. So trust yourself. Trust your abilities. Don't get cocky. Don't get overwhelmed by yourself. Just trust that, yes, I don't know how, but you're going to get better if you try. But the word is if you try. If you don't try, nothing's going to happen. Is there audio for this? Can I have some audio here? Let me see if it's... If there's not, no problem. I just skip the video. That's okay.
No, I think, let me just... Yes, I'm gonna have to...
Thank you.
Okay, now let's try.
All right.
Let's go back to the bottom.
Began her class by holding up a bottle of water. She asked the students, "How much do you think this bottle weighs?" 1 pound, 2 pounds, 3 pounds, the students answered. And then she said, "Imagine I hold this bottle like this for a few minutes. What do you think would happen?" One of the students shouted, "Nothing." So she said, "What if I was to hold this bottle for a few hours?" The student said that her arm would then start to hurt. So she asked again, "And what if I was to hold this bottle for 24 hours?" They said, "You would be in extreme pain, your arm could fall off or be totally aching." The professor then said, "Notice the weight of the bottle didn't change during that time at all. The only thing that changed was the length of time I was holding it." She said, "This bottle represents our challenges, our problems, our worries, our stress and anxiety, and it shows that the longer we hold on to them, the more damage and harm they can cause us. Your peace is more important than driving yourself crazy, trying to understand why something happened the way it did. Let it go."
I could stop right here and just, finish this presentation because that's about it. How long have you been holding your bottle? Does it hurt? Are you feeling some aching? Are you feeling some pain? What would it take for you to let it go? Yeah, we're not talking about frozen. Let it go in a real way, just when you think about revenge, is it good or bad? Guys, is it good or bad? Over there, is it good or bad? Lady, yeah, is it good or bad? I'm just trying to awake you. I know. And when it's bad, it's a positive and negative energy. Negative. Spirits get close to you by the same kind of energy, So what kind of spirits do you have around yourself when you're not thinking good things? Yeah. We're more influenced by spirits than we know. Most of our 80,000 thoughts a day are inspired by spirits. When you say, "Wow, I never thought about this." Yes, because it was not you. Pretty much. You were inspired. And that's great because you are vibrating something good. But if it's not good, again, you're going to be taught something that if you follow, you're going to start holding the bottle a little longer. So, passion and excesses of all kinds create unhealthy conditions in our organism, and which are sometimes transmitted by heredity. This is the circle of imbalance. we keep to ourselves, I'm only gonna forget this person if you're doomed. Because forgiveness is in your hand. If you put if, you give to somebody else. Meaning that if she changes, if this happened, if it's not under your control anymore. And you start crunching the same bad feeling that will create a lot of imbalance inside your body. So destructive passions, egoism. You know what ego is? When you add ISM to this, it's a disease of the ego. But ego can be understood as excluding or putting God out. So if you are excluding God from your daily life, then you just think about yourself. We're so small, right? That will create an energetic, generate some energy, because your thoughts generate negative infracorpuscles, subatomic lines of force. That will drain your spiritual energy. The filter becomes congested with toxic energies, and in the end, will appear in your body. Somatic manifestations, the physical body absorbs the imbalance, resulting in biological illnesses. When that stomachache starts, what was happening by the time? What were experienced? Sometimes it's just a matter of rewinding the movie to understand what causes for real. Suffering is the great educator of the soul. It breaks down the hard crystallizations of pride, detached from illusions of matter, and guides us to our gaze back to spiritual reality. If you don't believe that, just try to remember the last time that you were sick, if you're thinking about anything else but get better. Anything else but ask for help, for, the good spirits to help you and stuff like that. So at least by the time that you're sick, you go back to the spirits. Susanna just did a reading in the beginning, and when she was talking about praying, you have 80,000 thoughts a day. Well, I'm talking about male. Female, a little bit more. But don't kill me. Don't kill the messenger. But how can you reframe this tsunami of thoughts? Can you still thinking about what you're thinking right now and start to pray? You have to stop, right? Even if it's, God, look at me. I'm not feeling well. Can you help me? Can you send me a message? Can you give me some, peace? You stop the whole tsunami of thoughts coming just because you prayed. So it's the easiest way to control your thoughts. It's the easiest way to put a filter in your thoughts. And we don't pray that much. You know what? Because maybe at least from the Brazilian heritage, our grandmas, we used to say, oh, they pray too much. They're carolas. That's the term that we use in Brazil, which is not a good one. Wow, they were really wise by doing that, because they're asking good spirits to be around them all the time. Every time you pray, you diverge bad energy and you attract good energy. So why don't you pray more? You don't need to go, oh, Father that art in heaven, so be it. No, this is not a pray. This is just something that you memorize. Put some emotion. The prayer that goes straight up is the one that comes from your heart, not the one that you memorize because somebody told you to memorize. It's different. So again, when you suffer, that's the time that you reconnect to your spirit, reconnect to the source, because there's nobody else to ask for help. So far, so good? Are we good here? True healing is not merely the cessation of physical symptoms, but the restoration of perfect harmony within the soul. Illness forces the intellect to yell, turning our vision inward. How much time do you spend to look within? How much time we spend to look, how am I feeling here? Let's be honest. I do that because I'm a consultant, so I need to do it. But let's be honest. You go to your daily work today, every day. Before you start, you step in to your office. Do you think, what is my purpose of being here today? No. No. Why should I? Because that changes everything. That changes your mood, that changes your focus, and everything that you focus on, the rest disappears. So if you set your focus to do good, when you live here, if you set your focus to do good, you will find so many opportunities. If you set your focus to what I'm going to eat, you're going to see a lot of options of restaurants. And that's about it. It's about how you work within yourself. Restoring harmony requires profound inner craftsmanship. Foundation is know thyself. True healing is impossible without profound self-knowledge. Every time you dive deep within, you know a little bit more about yourself. You know why we don't like to dive deep? Because we don't like what we're going to find. Again, we are in the planet Earth. Do you think that do you have Xavier as a last name? The Calcutta? Mandela? No, you're not a missionary. You're a regular D.I. Joe, just as us. Don't hurt yourself. Assume that we have a lot of things inside of us that are not good. So what? You're going to beat yourself because of that? No, you're going to realize which one I'm going to deal with first. Baby steps. We think that whoever here asks for patience, ask God, give me patience. When you ask for patience, what do you think that God's going to give you? He's going to send you an Amazon car with the package, and you open the package, a little Japanese toy comes and mix a pounder with instant patience. You drink and become a Buddha for 24 hours. It's not going to happen. When you ask for patience, God gives you tests. Give you more annoying people because patience is a muscle. So watch what you ask. You're going to get it. It's as simple as that, guys. We need to understand that. And Susanna, I like to talk too much, so if I'm crossing the time, just let me know, okay? So, what is the work? A genuine willingness to change toxic and mental and emotional habits. And the result is the restoration of inner peace progressively restores the harmony of the physical vehicle. Again, the soul is the craftsman of its own body. The cure of the body, to cure the body, one must first cure the soul. That's the root. That's where everything comes from. Oh, but it's too hard. Yeah. But we can do it. The good thing is that God will not give us the possibility of getting better or to heal if we don't deserve it. So accepting our trials with resignation does not mean passivity. If God had not wished for bodily sufferings to be softened or cured, he would not put the possibility of a cure within human reach. So why are we still struggling? Spiritual resignation. Accept your trial. Don't say, why me? Because it's coming to you. That's why. It's simple. Cultivate a profound inner peace. There's so many people that are okay with that. There are so many people outside that has less than what we got and are happier. Why? Because they made peace with themselves. Actively seeking medical treatment. Never despise the human medicine. Utilizing science and pursuing physical health. So, There is a guy called Zig Ziglar. He's on the upper level right now. He used to be Tony Robbins' mentor. And when he passed away, he was a pastor. And he has a saying that I love, which is the only thing that we need to learn or to remember. What should we do to get healed? And he was to say, your attitude, not your aptitude, will determine your altitude. It's not what you know. If you push the button to cross the street and the light goes green and you don't walk, you're still in the same place. Don't wait for somebody to cross the street for you. You should do the first move. We always think about Jesus. Oh, we had to follow Jesus' step. Can you? I can follow the baby, small step of Jesus. Not Jesus' step. I cannot get there. So I give up because I put a bar too high to get. But I can't start. One little step after the other. Spiritism teaches us to support our passing miseries with resignation. Are you doing this? Resignation is not subordination, is not, oh yes, poor me. No, resignation. Okay, I have that, and what can I do with that? So, again, practical steps for overcoming the healing ecosystem. In a reform, open your mind to create new pathways. Daily scrutinize your conscience to dismantle egoism. The focus is overcoming anxiety by staying present. Nothing happens out of the present. 5 minutes from now, didn't happen yet. 5 minutes ago, already happened. You don't change. You just change what is here now. Your attitude now. Realignment of the spirit, evangelical therapy, practice deep forgiveness of self, others, or ourself and others to neutralize internal toxins. Elevation, use meditation or prayer to achieve high states of conscience and attract fluid assistance. Maintain positive expectations. Positive is the name of the game. Try to keep your thoughts positive because you're going to have positive spirits, positive energy around you. Forgiveness. What do you have? I'm going to play with the word forgive. What can you give to somebody? That's forgiveness. Forgiveness is not to forget. People don't forgive because they think that they have to forget. You're never going to forget what they did to you. But forgive is to liberate yourself from the chains that you create by blaming somebody else. It's a medical procedure that you do to yourself. And action. Active charity. Step outside of personal pain. Be useful to humanitarian causes to release radiant magnetic fluids that heal your own subtle bodies. This house has some work with outside, right? Or you have some nope. But you do have some need for workers here. Are you good? Yeah. Are you volunteering to work here? If you're not volunteer, that's your first step. Right there. Which, you know what's the second one? Instead of offering a McDonald's to a homeless, eat on his side. Get a McDonald's for you or whatever if you don't like McDonald's. But eat with him. Validate him because this person is probably not feeling human anymore. The time that you spend, the 5 minutes that you spend with somebody that doesn't feel like in the same level as yours will give more food for the soul than food for the body. But we just understand the physical manifestations of that, and we don't do it that much. You know what? You're going to feel amazing after doing that. Believe me. But again, as anything on Spiritism, Susanna probably, she could hire an actor named Peter Roman to come here and talk about this. Don't believe in my words. Do it. That's the beauty of Spiritism. If you don't do it, you never know if it's going to work or not. The cyclical engine of physical and spiritual recovery: take charge, connect, and serve. Is it that hard? Just remember that. Don't need to remember anything else. Take charge, attitude, connect, pray, meditate, and serve. Where? Here. You just heard. We need workers here. Why can't be you for a couple hours a week? Cultivate positive expectations, positive thoughts. We talk about this. You are never alone. Help will always arrive at the precise time and place from the Creator. But He knows better when we need help. We always want help when we need help, when we think we need help. He will send help when we really need, when it's really educational. There is no other fatality than which results from the determination of each spirit to undergo such and such trials. So we just go from trial to trial, from illness to illness, because we need to experience that. That's the way for us to purge some of our, like Dr. Alberto Almeida used to say, it's not bad habits. How do I translate encrenca in English? It's hard. It's a wording in Portuguese it's a funny bad habit, but that's what we come up with when we come from incarnation to incarnation.
Listen up, babies. Life's not fair. You get no say in the world you're born into. You don't decide your name. You don't decide where you come from. You don't decide if you have a place to call home, or if your whole family has to leave the country. Yeah, it's messed up. You don't decide how the world judges a person like you. You don't decide how your story begins, but you do get to decide how it ends. Yes!
You get to decide how it ends, right? I thought we have a saying. We have somebody talking about this. You cannot go back and change the past, but you can start now and create a new future. Yes. And that's Nike advertisement. They're always looking for uplift spirits, but not in a spiritual way. They just encompass what it is. Resignation, inner acceptance, action, outer diligence. If you do both, we're going to get really faster to the path of healing. Thank you so much.